Welcome back everyone to another Primal Pursuit mission. In this episode, I'm hunting Yellowtail kingfish, diving some awesome islands off the coast of Auckland in New Zealand's Hauraki Gulf. It's coming into the summer months in New Zealand, waters are warming up, kingfish are showing up, and in this episode, there's no shortage of action. Big schools of yellowtail kingfish, thousands of kahawai, baitfish, hungry snapper. It's all there, it's all happening. Stay around for the action. Right guys, I'm out early morning. I'm just on a reef here. I haven't anchored up yet and there's massive schools of kingies underneath me. I'm going to quickly tie off to get my gear on before they leave and get in and try and get one. Let's go. There's, I don't know how many, 50, 100, let's go. I'm frantically trying to get my gear ready, get my fins on, gloves, spare gun ready. This is unlike me. Usually I get to a location and I'm ready to jump overboard, but I just wasn't quite ready, and this school of kingfish just surrounded the boat. Probably 1 to 2 minutes I was in the water, but it was too late. Kingfish had already moved on. I couldn't believe it. You've got to act fast with these kingfish. If they turn up, be ready to jump in, or if you see them in the water, don't waste your time. Get in there and get into the action. I jump into the IRB. I know I've been drifting in the current with the incoming tide. I'm using my phone as my GPS. Got navionics running, trying to find this reef again. This time I'm going to anchor on it because the current's quite strong. Tie off the anchor and I'm back in the water. This time I'm just going to hang around and hopefully that school swims back around and comes towards the boat. With cloud cover and the sun just rising above the horizon, it's still very dark and gloomy, and a very eerie presence. I've battled some big bronze whaler sharks around here, so it's a bit spooky, I must say. With the school of kingfish not showing up, and after quite a few dives, no action at all, I picked up and moved on, anchoring on another reef. Straight away I could see some baitfish down below, a bit more current. I was feeling a bit more optimistic. After a few dives, coming up for some air, I noticed a lone kingfish swimming below. Diving down for a closer look, I noticed it's not quite big enough. But it's a good sign, at least there's a couple around. Here's another one, circling around, just a few small kingfish. There's got to be a bigger one somewhere. I give up at that spot and move once again onto another reef. This time the water's a bit clearer and it is loaded with kingfish. It seems I've found the school from earlier in the morning. There's got to be at least 100 kingfish here, but they're just not quite the right size. Probably around 60 to 70 centimeters, a bit small. Very cool to see. When circled by big schools of kingfish like this, depending on the size of the fish, size of the school, they can hang around from 10 seconds, 30 seconds, all the way up to 2 minutes. It just depends, but generally no longer than that. So if you see some big fish, you've got to make the move and go for it. In this case, there's just no fish big enough.
Well guys, what's going on? Found that school of kingies that I'd seen on the surface just as I arrived in the area, and yeah, they're all very small, probably around 60 centimeters, so nothing legal there to shoot. I kept diving down, just checking at the back of the school, looking for a few outliers, a few bigger models, but nothing showed up. A few small snapper down there, bits and pieces, but yeah, there's no bait fish around, so yeah, that's probably not going to be the best for some bigger kingies. They should be feeding up. We'll go and try another spot. Might try it in closer here to the rocks, and just try and find some bait fish. Find the bait fish, find the kingfish. So we'll move on. Pretty cool to see big schools of kingies regardless of the size anyways. That's pretty neat. Yeah, water's pretty warm, all good.
Further out, I see a boat circling around a big workup on the surface, so I decided to join them, and it was a matter of chasing down this ever-moving school of baitfish, finding out later predominantly kahawai, but also kingfish in the mix, trying to sneak in as close as possible, as stealth as possible, peel off. Over and over I went, diving in the schools of fast moving kahawai, a few smaller kingfish down below. Just had to keep going. I knew it was a matter of time before I'd find a nice kingfish. A little bit bigger here, still not quite what I'm looking for. So once again, pack up, move on, chasing the schools. With nothing showing up big enough, I decide to get on the board with a nice fat kahawai. Smack this one, looks like a good holding shot, and I've got a fish on the table. Yep, looking good. Fish on board. Awesome. As I'm dealing with the kahawai, I notice the current, how fast it's actually pushing. You can see me just humming over this reef here. Some serious flow, but where there's current there's usually fish, so it's all good. I reload the spear gun quickly with that struggling kahawai that can bring in a nice kingfish, so got to be ready. I call it a day chasing the workups. There's no big kingfish showing. I've got a kahawai on board, so I move in closer to one of the islands. Jumping in, and the amount of fish here was just amazing. Hundreds and hundreds of big kahawai. Reasonably clean water, and the fish were acting a bit more erratic. It was a good sign. I could sense that there was a predatory fish nearby, hopefully a large kingfish. Fish are moving a bit faster. I'm just staying on the surface, just looking for a kingfish to swim by underneath. Being patient, just waiting, something's got to show up surely. I see out of the corner of my eye a big kingfish. I don't waste any time and make a duck dive. I see the fish moving around to the right here. I swim slightly down to the left, wait for the shot to line up and get one right through the head. Try to go for the stone shot, but I've shot a little bit high. Fish comes to life and it looks like it's got full power. You can see the extra wrap of shooting line here on my spear gun. A lot of people don't like to use it, they say it's unnecessary, but in my opinion, apart from being able to shoot snapper at long distances, it means when you shoot a fish like a kingfish, that extra couple of meters enables you to swim closer to the surface. I think this could be crucial, especially in the case of a reel gun, where perhaps your reel gets stuck, the line jams, and it just gives you that extra few meters, enabling you to get closer to the surface so you can fight that fish more safely. I guess it could be the other way, giving the fish too much room to get away. Food for thought anyways. I swim hard to the surface, trying to swim away from the reef, the rock. Keep that fish out of the kelp, away from any reef where it could cut the shooting line on a sharp rock and get away. The fish is charging, full of energy. That's the spin-off of trying to shoot the fish in the brain. If you miss and just come slightly off, there's nothing really to go through that's going to hurt the fish, so the fish just had full power here. Up and down, the fish charged down into the depths. This went on for a few minutes, but finally I could see it starting to tire. Always stay vigilant of your line management. Even if it looks like you've won the fight, just be careful, keep your legs, everything free from that line. All it takes is a bronze whaler to come in, get caught up in the spear, take off, it'll take you down into the depths as well. Always have a knife on you and always be watching that line management. Such powerful fish. Every time it ran, it dragged me under the surface half a metre. You got to be careful you're not wrapped up, tangled up. And just slowly work the fish in. Here you can see it really starting to tire. It's out of energy, so I'm just slowly bringing it to the surface. Fish sees me, tries to run, but it's out of steam. Now this looks like it should be the easy part, grabbing the fish in your arms, but they always do one final run just before you grab them. So just be really careful here of your line management, just letting it slowly circle in. I want to get hold of that tail and get the fish in a bear hug. Sure enough, there it goes, its final run. I get hold of the tail, get the tail between my legs, get my hand up in the gill plate, and that's when you know the fight's under control. Nice quick release knife into the brain, and I'm stoked. First kingfish in a few months, and it's a fatty. Awesome. And as usual, get the knife in the gills, bleed the fish out. This greatly improves the eating quality of the flesh.
Far out. That was a bit of a fight. Whew. Got there, guys. Just put my head over, saw the birds working around this rock, thought there's got to be some fish under there. Sure enough, hundreds of kahawai as you saw, and quite a nice sized kahawai, a bit smaller. I thought, geez, there's enough of these fish, there's got to be something lurking around. I just had that feeling, and one smaller kingy swam under, so I thought, oh yeah, there might be another. Chucked the camera on, and then I just seen a bruiser just come swimming into the side, dove straight down a little bit away from him as usual, and then the fish just came around. I should have stoned him, tried to go for the brain and just did a bad shot. In summary, no excuses, so hit it a bit high. Good holding shot, but the fish just had absolute full power, so I was just trying to hold him back off the reef. Man, my hands I was just trying to keep him. He just kept going for the rocks, trying to break me off. Just swimming with all my strength. Kept pulling me under. I was just trying to hold him off, eh? Anyways, got him up in the end. He tired out, probably in here about 2 minutes of fight. Seems like a long time. Here's the fish, beautiful condition fish. I'd say it's probably nearing 15 kilo. It's quite a nice fish actually, quite long. So yeah, stoked. It's getting a bit worried. All there were was tiny little rat kingfish everywhere, but got the job done. Gonna go and anchor up and close here, and I'll rip all that guts out of the kingfish, the gills and stuff, and I'll set a burley and see if we can pull in a snapper. I've actually never shot one around here, but we'll see what we can do. The surface is just alive all around me. Thousands and thousands of kahawai. It's cool.
With the guts and the gills out of the kingfish, nestled down in a nice little gutter, I just cruised around the area, seeing if there was anything else interesting. Lots and lots of bait, lots of kahawai. It was all go this day, very, very fishy. I only let the guts of the kingfish sit in the scatter for about 5 minutes, snuck around the corner and dived down here. Trying to grab hold of the rock, it's quite surgy and swelly, and there's a few snapper on there, and there's a nice one right there in the middle of the screen. I stretch out, almost get the shot off, and he spots me and takes off. Good signs though. I get back to the surface, breathe up, give it a few minutes, and I'm back down. This time with a different approach angle. Slowly sneak my way to the gutter. Nice rock to hold on here, little bit of kelp cover. There's still a few snapper hanging around, but the bigger model's not there. I decide I'm gonna set a burley, go shoot another fish, hack it up, and see what that brings in. Well, it brought in a bronze whaler shark, that's what happened. Little 2-meter shark by the looks of it. Very bold and brave shark though, came right up to me here. Went to give it a quick poke with the spear, and it finally took off. Bronze whalers are pretty easy to deal with most of the time, unless they're in packs. A good 5 minutes later, one last breathe up and down I go. A nice shallow easy approach here. That's what you want. You don't need to go deep to shoot snapper. Just set your burley in a nice shallow spot. They just need some deep water nearby and a nice escape route. I come to the ledge here and I can see 2 beautiful snapper milling around. And this big one just bombs down right in front of me, going down to pick up a free feed. I line the fish up and just bomb the shark right through it, and the fish just cartwheels over. Awesome. A bit unsuspected, but I'm stoked. Nice snapper to add to the kingfish.
Woohoo! Yeah.
The fish is paralysed. I'm stoked. It's a very nice fish. Must be pushing towards 15 pound. Maybe a bit less. Nice snapper still. Get the fish to the surface. Quick icky. And a lovely kelpie snapper. Nice dark colour. Beautiful. As with any fish, Knife in the gills, get the blood out of the fillets. Better eating. Wicked.
Well, that worked out pretty well. Chucked all that kingfish guts down. Had a few smaller snappers come in. One quite nice fish around 10 pound. Played cat and mouse for it for about 10-15 minutes. Just couldn't get the shot off. So I thought I'll see what else is around, see if I can really entice the fish in. So I went and shot a little paro, cut that up, whacked that down in that gutter. I only gave it about 5 minutes and came back and there was 2 big snapper on it. I got the bigger of the 2. It's a really nice snapper. Beautiful fish. So yeah, pretty stoked with that. Really happy. Yeah, the fish just geez, they were just checking out the paro, the fish belly, and they were just swimming on top of it, docile as. But this place is just going off. It is very fishy today. We're in middle of December and it's just wild. There's just thousands of kahawai. Yeah, seem to be a lot of small snapper everywhere, and obviously there's a few bigger ones lurking down below. So I'm gonna try one more spot. I'm just gonna start to cruise back. It's only about 8:30 in the morning. Big kingy, kahawai and a nice snapper on board, so I'm stoked.
As usual, I like to explore new places and coastlines, so here I am on another rocky outcrop, checking in some big gutters for another snapper or suitable terrain for the future. A few small fish around. Nice big deep gutter, perfect spot for a snapper to be milling. I'm just back on the surface, breathing up after a dive, and these kahawai just come racing in, a big school of them, and I know there must be kingfish chasing them. They're very erratic. You can see a few white chunks on some of them. Looks like they've been attacked by kingfish. A few scars, a few battle wounds, and then they really just bolt, coming towards me, and there we go. A huge kingfish comes in, another one, and there's a whole pack of them. Amazing sight, and this one just comes and just wants a spear. This time with a much better shot, and the kingfish just stops dead in its tracks. Wicked. I normally would only ever take one kingfish, but being December, Christmas time and a big family, I take the chance while it's in front of me with bad weather on the way and just roll this kingfish. Awesome shot. It actually doesn't go right through. It hits the gill plate and the pectoral fin on the other side and just stops. So lucky the fish was stoned, and yeah, awesome. The other friends of this fish don't know what to do. They're circling around their mate, unsure what's actually happened. Yeah, amazing scenes.
Well, that was a successful morning on the water. Got the job done, a couple of snapper and kingies, so absolutely wrapped, all fresh fish, ready for the few weeks ahead. Looks like we've got some shitty weather coming through. That might be the last dive before Christmas, perhaps the last dive on the old Primal Pursuit IRB for a while. New boats arriving in a week or two, so yeah, pretty excited for that. It's good to get out and have one last successful mission on the IRB. Once again, proven that you don't really need the big flash boat to go out there and get into some fish, but much needed upgrade coming my way. So let's get back, let's get warm, get the fillet session going, and I think we're gonna have a bit of a smoke up with these kingies. See you at home. G'day everyone, back home. What a dive that was yesterday. Absolutely knackered. I left at 3:30 in the morning to get to this spot and get up for sunrise. Only downside of these long days in summer, it's long mornings as well, so sun's up really early. So here we are, fillet time. Here's that first kingy through the head there. well, came through that side and out here, nearly stoned him. Had the fish in the kai cooler and in the big chiller overnight, so that's set really well. It's actually quite a long fish, quite decent. And here's that beautiful snapper shot again. Well, actually I got that one right there. See, just coming through, hitting that lateral line, spying the fish. It was lights out for that one, so that's a really nice snapper. One nice kahawai, so stocked up for Christmas. Awesome. We've tapped off all our fish, gave it a quick wash in the water, and then I've just tacked it all off with the towels, got them nice and dry. So our snapper, wing and head, and we have the rest of these trays just filled up with beautiful kingi, kahawai, you name it. So I'm going to put that back in the cooler and leave that for a couple of hours just to try and air off, tack off a bit more. Then we'll put a light coating of golden syrup or a little bit more sugar on, and then smoke 4 or 5 hours this afternoon. So let's get it in the chiller. Right guys, I've had that fish taken off in the fridge for about 4 or 5 hours. It's looking pretty good. We're just going to put a bit of maple syrup glaze on that. So here's the smoker. It's a Bradley smoker, digital smoker. I'm not sponsored by them or anything. I just think they're a pretty cool product, pretty foolproof, pretty dummy proof. So this is how they work. We've got a brisket stack here that will feed through there every 20 minutes. Pushes one out on this little plate. There's a little hot plate that burns. Once they're done, flicks it off into the water, and then another one comes every 20 minutes. On here we'll set our time, temperature, all that stuff, and just let it do its thing. Today we're going to do a apple flavoured smoke. So yeah, here's the little briquettes. So we'll just stack that into there. Righto, here's all our fish. All laid out, 6 racks. And it's tacked off pretty good. We'd like to keep it in there a little bit longer, but it's pretty well, nice and tacked off, so it's gonna chuck a bit of maple syrup on top and we're good to go. Alright, we are ready for a smoke up. Looking good. Alright, we've been smoking for about 5.5 hours and I reckon let's open her up and have a look. Woo. Looking pretty good. Getting a bit of colour on there. Almost done, I reckon. Smoked up pretty well. Sweet, salty, moist. Cheers for tuning in, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that episode as much as I did being out there. What a wicked day it was. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing if you want to see more action. Share it around, guys. Let's share the love of the sport. It's cool to see people get into it, catching fresh fish for their family, so share it around, whack a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and if you want to support the channel, primalpursuit.co.nz. I've got a bit of merch on there. I'll leave the link below in the description. We'll see you on the next adventure. Good luck out there diving, stay safe and enjoy it. Cheers, guys.